The Spanish Civil War began on July 17, 1936, when both Spanish generals launched an uprising aimed at overthrowing the country's democratic republic. This was devastating to Spain, Germany, Italy, and the Soviet Union. Some rights and responsibilities during the Spanish Civil War significantly impacted history because it served as a major precaution to World War II. It was also the right to be considered or revised to own land ownership. This war profoundly changed the Spanish people by leaving a deep scar of trauma due to a widespread of violence, mass executions, which forced many people to live in constant fear, leading to a culture of silence. Bloodiest conflict Western Europe had experienced since the end of World War I in 1918. This moment was brutal and devastating. The Spanish Civil War, fought from 1936 to 1939, was a bloody conflict between the democratically elected Republican government of Spain and a naturalist faction led by General Francisco Franco, which was supported by fascist Italy and Nazi Germany. The three main features about leading up to the war were political polarization, economic hardships, and military discontent. Also, a left-leaning coalition called the Popular Front had recently won elections in Spain, causing significant political polarization and unrest with the right-wing fractions, including the military, and plotting power against the newly elected government. Spanish Civil War. Some important leaders were General Francisco Franco as the leader of the Naturalist forces, and on the Republican side, Manuel Azana as president, and Francisco Largo Calabro as prime minister. During this war were the military uprising led by Franco on July 17, 1936, the siege of the Madrid, the bombing by Nazi Germany, and the eventual Naturalist victory on March 28, 1939, with Franco establishing a dictatorship until his death in 1975. Volunteers from all around the world fought alongside the Republicans against the Naturalists. Some actions and responsibilities during this war was in January 26, 1939, when Barcelona falls. In February 20th, 1939, Franco's government was recognized by Great Britain and France. On March 31st, 1939, Madrid falls. And on April 1st, 1939, Republican armies surrendered and Franco, now the leader of Spain, declares the war to be over. The Spanish Civil War is significant in its short-term impact because it served as a dress rehearsal of the World War II, showcasing the rising threat of fascists in Europe by providing a battleground where major powers like Nazi Germany and fascist Italy openly supported one side. The most significant new law enacted was the Law of Political Responsibilities, which stated that enacted in 1977 after Francisco Franco's death, which granted responsibility to those who involved in the Civil War, effectively preventing any legal precautions for past actions, while also allowing exiles to return to Spain. This was a part of a transition to democracy, but also meant that many crimes committed during the Franco era remained unpunished. In long-term impact, the Civil War significantly suppressed political freedoms, significantly hindering Spain's social and economic development and leaving a deep cultural divide due to the war's ideological nature, which also impacted European politics by further polarizing the landscape between fascism and communism. Yes, the Civil War significantly influenced other historical events because both Germany and Italy used the Spanish Civil War to experiment with new weapons and tactics, like aerial bombing, which later prevented in World War II. To conclude, the rights and responsibilities during the Spanish Civil War was The right to own land ownership and a responsible act was attempting to settle a peaceful resolution to the conflict rather than actively participating in the violence. If no one had any deep political problems against each other in Spain and in many economic hardships, this war would have never started in the first place. The Spanish Civil War was a pivotal event in history that influenced World War II, the Holocaust, and the development of civil rights in Spain.